The clan cats rested in a small furrow lined with shallow holes, each padded with moss and feathers. When Riverpaw arrived, she settled into a nest near Ashheart and Stonepaw. The night passed quickly as Riverpaw dipped in and out of sleep, and when the sun rose, she lifted her head to find activity stirring within the cave. Distorted sunlight lifted the shadows from the stone walls, and cats could be seen padding from the tunnels. A few glanced toward the visitors in surprise and excitement, and Riverpaw heard faint murmurs growing among the onlookers. As her clanmates woke, a tribe she-cat padded over to them, dragging a very large bird in her mouth. She laid it at the edge of their furrow, dipping her head. "This isn't much, but I hope it'll help with some of your hunger." It was astonishing how quickly Duskfall sprang to his paws and rushed over to her. "It's perfect! We're all lucky such an amazingly beautiful she-cat would grace us with her presence in Freshkill. Join us, perhaps?" The she-cat's eyes widened and she backed away slightly. I can't. I have to join the rest of my hunting party." "Are you sure you don't want to enjoy this delicious bird with me instead?" Yes, quite sure," the she-cat meowed before Duskfall could say another word. The she-cat had turned tail and ran across the cave to a group of cats. Riverpaw watched this entire exchange feeling amused and sympathetic for Duskfall. Sure, he was terrible at flirting, but Riverpaw felt bad that every she-cat he met seemed to instantly reject him. Then again, he may have more luck if he wasn't so forward with his flirting. Sighing, she turned to her friends. Echopaw and Stonepaw were just beginning to stir. Stonepaw lifted his head and yawned, then proceeded to poke Echopaw until she finally tackled him. Riverpaw watched, a small smile on her face, taking comfort in her friend's easygoing behavior. She needed the normalcy after her conversation last night. Her eyes flicked around the cave, half hoping and half dreading to see her brother's white pelt among the tribe cats. There was no sign of him. The clan cats shared the large bird. It was quite a catch, like nothing Riverpaw had seen before, but, despite its size, it was only just enough for the 10 cats. When they had finished, Rowan and Shadow looked around the cave for Stoneteller. "So, what are we meant to do now?" Featherfall meowed, cleaning her whiskers with a paw. "I suppose we help the tribe with their problem," Mosslegs replied hesitantly. "They don't seem to have any problems to me," the Shadow Clan she-cat said, looking around the cave at the tribe cats. "Look closer. Aren't they a bit thin?" Ginger Pelt pointed out. Riverpaw followed the River Clan warrior's gaze and found it was true. She hadn't realized before in the darkness, but many of the cats' ribs were showing through their pelts. The Freshkill pile, laying in the center of the cave beside a thick stone pillar, also seemed to be rather sparsely packed. As the clan cats reflected on this uneasily, Tiger padded toward them. Riverpaw could now see that, beneath the mud, his pelt was a deep ginger tabby, and despite his muscles, he too seemed to be slightly malnourished. "Stoneteller wishes to speak with all of you. He asks that you join him immediately." Rowan Shadow nodded, and the clan cats stood. Riverpaw, Echopaw, and Stonepaw shared a glance, excitement in the apprentice's eyes. The brown she-cat cast a glance at her mentor, but Ashheart did not stop them as they all followed Tiger. Stoneteller waited for them in a large alcove to the left of the camp entrance. Weeds and lichen dangled over the alcove's open side, creating a natural curtain of leaves. Riverpaw was reminded of the medicine den in ThunderClan. A line of different herbs adorned a shallow shelf on the rocky wall. Another tribe cat sat beside Stoneteller, watching them with unwavering green eyes. Her pelt was pure black, and Riverpaw could tell she was evaluating each clan cat as they sat before the healer. "Hello again," Stoneteller began, smiling easily. Tiger took a seat on the healer's other side, while Stoneteller waved his tail at the black she-cat. "This is my advisor, Lily that floats on water." The black she-cat dipped her head. "Now, why don't we dive in and discuss exactly why you were sent to us? 1 moon ago, I received a vision from my ancestors. They told me that an unlikely ally would come to our tribe in a time of dire need and save us from despair. I see now that it was the clans the messages spoke of. I am thankful we are reconnected after all this time." He dipped his head, and the clan cats did the same. When they faced each other again, Rowan's shadow stepped forward. "As we told you last night, our own ancestor sent us here, but we do not know what it is we are meant to face, only that we must help." Stoneteller inclined his head, long whiskers twitching. "Help you must. In the past weeks, a new threat has moved into our territory. Wolves." The air seemed to grow colder at the implications in the healer's words. "The clans know little of wolves," Rowan's shadow admitted, unable to hide his uneasiness. "Wolves are large dogs, fierce and dangerous. For many moons, they have lived peacefully in their territory. A small valley forest just beyond the ridges to the east. However, recently the wolves moved out of the valley and into the mountains. We don't know why they are doing this, and there is no way to communicate with them. They have begun to eat the prey we depend on, and have even taken some of our cats. To make matters worse, the lack of prey has caused tension between our tribe and the tribe of the season tree." "There is another tribe in the mountains?" Mosslegs asks, surprised. "Yes. The season tree tribe originated when the clans last visited us. It is said that the tribe of the season tree was once a band of rogues who threatened to drive us out. However, with the help of the clans, we managed to defeat them in battle, and they promised to leave our territory alone. It was not but a season later that they told our healer they had been contacted by the tribe of endless hunting. They declared themselves a tribe shortly after." The clan cats sat in awed silence. After a moment, Stoneteller continued. "Normally, we have no trouble with our new brothers. The mountains may be harsh, but they are vast and full of prey if one knows how to catch it. Still, with wolves here, any prey we depend on has scattered, leaving us with little to hunt. Even many of the eagles have moved." "Why are the wolves eating prey here if they had enough in their own territory before?" Gingerpelt asked. "We don't know. It could be that they are claiming this territory as their own now," Stoneteller rumbled. Silence. "Have you thought of any ways to drive them out?" Ashhart inquired. A sudden, sharp laugh sounded from behind the cats, and everyone turned to face the newcomer. It was a black and white patched Tom, his yellow eyes regarding the clan cats with amusement. "This is my other advisor, Lightning that splits the night," Stoneteller explained. As Lightning moved to take his place, Tiger stood, dipped his head, and padded away. Riverpaw watched him go, wondering if he was there simply to hold Lightning's place. "Excuse me for laughing," the black and white Tom meowed, "but I found your question funny." "Why?" Echopaw piped up, reproachfully, receiving a warning glance from Ashhart. "Because, my dear Kit, I am not These wolves are larger than 5 cats combined. They are stronger and fiercer. To defeat even one would be a feat." "How many are there?" Stonepaw asked. Lightning's eyes flashed. "At least a dozen." The atmosphere plummeted, and Riverpaw smelled fear emanating from her clanmates. She could almost hear them thinking, "How are we supposed to fight that many?" "Is there some way to see these wolves?" Echopaw asked suddenly. Both the clan and the tribe cats stared at her. "Not that we know of. Anytime we get close, they are able to smell us," Lily said thoughtfully. "So they've tried before," Riverpaw observed. She kept her mind focused on the discussion, but her eyes were wandering past the lichen curtain into the cave. Tribe cats moved about their daily duties, some glancing nervously toward the clan cats. Echopaw thought for a moment. "You said they were moving this way, right?" the ThunderClan apprentice said. "Yes. What are you getting at?" Lily meowed, cocking her head. "Are they still in their old territory at all?" The tribe cats looked at each other. "We haven't gone that way to look." "May we?" Echopaw inquired. "What? You want to go to the wolves' territory?" Lightning exclaimed. "Yes," Echopaw replied. "That's a suicide mission," Featherfall snapped. "What's suicidal about it? We just need to send a patrol in to investigate, and then leave soon after. In and out. Easy," Echopaw retorted. "But why? And how?" Wolfclaw spoke up. If you want to know more about the enemy, Mothlegs said suddenly, you have to know more about where they come from. The tribe and clan cats looked at her. I think I know what Echopaw is trying to do. If we are able to explore their territory, we could possibly learn more about them, and maybe develop a way to defeat them. But why would we need to? We already know that they come from a valley forest. Isn't that enough? Have any of you actually been in a forest? Mosslegs asked. The tribe cats fell silent. Lightning flicked his ears in annoyance. I do not see why it matters whether we have any experience in forests. We are experts in the mountains. Exactly, Rowan Shadow meowed, eyes shining as he and Mosslegs shared a glance. The tribe has lived in these mountains for generations, but these wolves are new. Even if they are larger, faster, and equally intelligent, they are used to forests. If I had to guess, I would say they still spent much of their time in the valley forest, and are only just beginning to venture here in small groups. So you're saying there are more than what we've seen? Lily meowed, eyes wide. Not exactly. What's the largest group you've witnessed? Gingerpelt asked. The tribe cats shared a glance, and Lightning replied. About 6, but we estimated a dozen because we've seen ones of different colors and in different locations. So assuming there are a dozen, half may still be hunting in the forests. If wolves are anything like us, they may patrol their entire territory, and are just getting used to the expansion, Wolfclaw meowed. The cats looked at the Shadow Clan Tom, ears flat with apprehension. If that's the case, then they're actually quite similar to us, at least in how they function together, Gingerpelt meowed softly. The group fell into silence, contemplating the information. Lily shook her head and sighed, looking at the clan cats skeptically. We have no way of knowing if they really are like us. We would have to observe them more closely, follow them, and see if they have a camp, a leader, a system, and there isn't enough time for reconnaissance on that level, Stoneteller finished gravely. His blue eyes shone warily as he meowed. Our situation will only grow worse as time passes. We need a way to drive them out now. I cannot risk time and lives to study the wolves. There was a lapse of silence until Ashheart spoke. Then that only leaves one option, to fight the wolves head on, or set a trap for them. Unless there is a way to communicate peacefully. Riverpaw thought on this, and watched as the warriors and tribe cats discussed their options. It seemed hopeless, and the she-cat's mood only continued to drop as the others gave no solutions. Exhausted, the discussion was put on hold as Stoneteller told the cats, We shall speak again later in the evening, but for now, we must eat. The others nodded in agreement, and Rowan Shadow asked, Would it be possible to accompany your cats on patrols? Perhaps we could help more if we knew the territory better. Ashheart nodded, and Wolfclaw meowed. I prefer to catch my own prey as well. Stoneteller inclined his head in consent, and the clan cats followed Lily and Lightning toward a group of tribe cats gathering near the entrance. The clan cats began to split up as they were assigned to different hunting patrols. None of them seemed to mind the separation, especially the Shadow Clan cats. Echopaw bounced beside Riverpaw, bubbling with excitement. We're going to go on a patrol with the tribe! This is amazing! I don't know how you maintain a positive outlook, Stonepaw sighed. These wolves... He didn't need to finish. Riverpaw nodded solemnly. A moment later, the wolves were pushed from her mind abruptly as she spotted her brother's white coat. He caught sight of her as well, and for a moment, Riverpaw thought she saw a hint of uneasiness in his gaze. Her heart leapt, and the she-cat curled her tail over her paws in apprehension. Cloud's hesitance was gone, however, and he smiled as he padded over to her, a gray cat trailing behind him. River! I wanted to introduce you to my traveling partner. Oh, and this must be Stonepaw and Echopaw. The brown cat's friends dipped their heads to her brother, and the gray queen stepped forward as he waved his tail. This is Hannah. She saved me from starvation in the small city, and saved me from my own stupidity many times. Hannah smiled meekly. She was a gray marbled cat with a round, pretty face and pointed ears. Her legs were long and her frame lithe and elegant. Riverpaw immediately knew this cat was kind, honest, and quietly intelligent. a perfect match for Cloud, the she-cat realized. She saw the she-cat's paw brush her brother's. They're mates. Hannah dipped her head. It's an honor to meet Cloud's sister. He went to such lengths to find you. It's miraculous you happened to come to us in the end. Riverpaw nodded, feeling slightly awkward and at a loss for words. Thankfully, Echopaw saved her. Wow! So you two must have traveled all over together. Hannah, where did you originally come from? Hannah smiled easily. I was a pet. My housefolk were nice, but when I met Cloud, I knew I couldn't just let him go off alone. I'm actually called Shadow that Covers the Stone now, or Shadow, but it seems the name Hannah still sticks with me. She let out a small meow of laughter, and Echopaw beamed. I think it's a great name. You gotta tell me everything about your journey, and about the tribe. I've been dying to talk to some actual members. The cats continued to talk as they made their way out of the cave, following the other hunters and warriors as they climbed the slippery rocks. Riverpaw squinted against the sudden daylight. In the cave, the light had been muted by the waterfall. She listened to her friends talk to her brother and Hannah, shooting questions back and forth and laughing. She trailed behind somewhat, sorting through the frustrating uncertainty in her stomach. Stonepaw eventually fell back to walk beside her. Are you doing all right? Yeah, I'm fine, Riverpaw answered, far too lightly. The gray Tom eyed her, and she sighed. It's nothing to worry about, really. I'll work through it alone. Her friend didn't seem entirely convinced, but he nodded and fell silent as they walked on over a windswept ridge. Riverpaw appreciated his silent comfort. Their group veered to the left, climbing the rocks to a path that winded downward. The path narrowed and widened randomly, and at one time, the cats had to squeeze between two large boulders. It was some time before the leading cat, a prey hunter, raised her tail. The surrounding cats stopped and listened. Riverpaw watched in fascination as the prey hunters crouched, pricking their ears and sniffing the air, and the cave guards began to form a protective circle. Cloud moved as well, and glancing back, Hannah had tensed. Riverpaw, Echopaw, Stonepaw, and Ashheart simply watched the tribe cats process. Eagle, above, one of the cats said suddenly. Everyone looked up as the enormous bird descended. Immediately, two cave guards and a prey hunter leapt onto the rocks along the path. The eagle aimed its talons at the cats below, and as it came near the ground, the cats scattered, and the three who had taken position on the boulders suddenly jumped onto the eagle's back. The eagle struggled to take off, flapping its wings, but it could not rise from the ground. One prey hunter whipped around and leapt at the eagle, delivering a killing bite to its neck. The eagle flapped its wings once more and was still. The clan cats gaped in amazement. Is hunting always this exciting? Stonepaw gasped. On a good day, Cloud responded, grinning.